Hello and welcome to round 16, the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's start the race. I do start in pole position, but we are expecting a wet race and it could get dry near the end, so hopefully we can go onto a set of soft tyres.
Here we go then, it's Formula One in Marina Bay once again, and welcome to all of you at home who join us today for this fascinating race around the baking hot, horribly humid, but very beautiful streets of Singapore. We have a high risk of a safety car here today as the abundance of tight corners mixed with these wet conditions could put a few cars off into the barriers. 23 turns then, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, make up the 3.1 mile lap of Marina Bay. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Lee. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lee lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Carlos Sainz, Vettel, Ocon, Kimi Raikkonen, and Stroll, Giovinazzi, Russell, Giuliano Alesi and Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Fernando Alonso, Mazepin and Yuki Tsunoda. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So we're expecting a full wet race, are we? Do you know what, I'm going to underfuel the car by 1 lap. That should give me enough time to go around the circuit. Right, let's warm these tyres up to the best of my ability. I've got a lot of engine wear as well to deal with.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
I don't know if we're going to be on intermediate tyres at all, so I am a little bit concerned with the full wets. If I can go on to intermediates, that would be a blessing, but like I say, we are expecting at least a dry track near the end.
Rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while.
Right. Engineer, quiet. Is that not going to let me work? Is that not going to work with the engineer? Give me a second.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Engineer, quiet. It's not letting me activate Jeff.
Say again, you're breaking up.
There we go, that's done. I don't have Jeff now in my ear constantly. So yeah, like I was saying. So I'm expecting a dry track near the end, but I don't know if that's going to be feasible with how much standing water is going to be on the circuit. But like I say, intermediate tyres would be a blessing instead of full wets. But we'll see as the race goes on, because that's the way we have to look at it. So yeah, we're roughly near to the end now with the formation lap. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tricky race throughout, but it's going to be worth doing. I know that much, but like I say, I have my lap under fuel as well, so I am a little bit lighter off the start. I think Hamilton and Bottas will win the Constructors' title with Mercedes, as I am going to be world champion at the end. I think either Japan or even maybe I think it's USA after Japan. So I think that will be where I seal the victory for the drivers' standings. And there we go. I can change camera angle. I do like...
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
There we go, a bit more of a closer look at the car. Yeah, Seasons 2's car has already been picked with the new podium pass. I have looked at certain cars. I know what livery I'm going to go for. I'm not going to spoil that until it comes out. But yeah, that video might be a little bit longer, so I might do the car reveal as a separate video. But I'll see how it all goes first. Here we go.
Copy that.
Oh, wrong camera angle. There we go. There we go. That's the best camera angle for me. Right. That's a beautiful start. It's just treacherous how we're under braking at first, but this is what my engine wear looks like at the moment. So I am going to try and see if I can keep these engine parts until Japan and change them all at the USA Grand Prix, the American Grand Prix. So that's what I'm looking at. But it depends how it looks at the end of this race, and even if I can get to Japan, would it be feasible to keep the 81% where? I don't know. That's the question. Without random failures on this part of the game, I can't be 100% certain if 81% will stay. It's about 85, giving me a 15% window to 100% wear. I don't really want to change the ICE so early on, because you know I got to the French Grand Prix of Paul Ricard and I got a lot of engine wear, so yeah, I'm umming and ahhing about that. I am going to have to take a new gearbox in practice, because I'm still using the first gearbox, which is pretty good, considering that I am literally just going around the circuit, doing the practice programs, getting purples and greens, and making sure I can get enough R&D points up and running. So yeah, I'm nearly at level 15 as well on the account, so that means I can get a new sponsor, hopefully at the end of this race. And yeah, I don't actually know what to talk about, because it's another weird day. It's like I say, it's Saturday. I will be at the football later on today. I'll be posting these videos early tomorrow, so they'll be up while I'm at the football. I'm watching Warsaw play. I don't actually know who we're facing. I've not looked at FootMob, so I can't tell. But yeah, it's going to be a good game. We need to win. I think it's Rochdale I think we're playing, but I'll have to double check. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, so I'm not going to grumble. I'll go for free. Dad and my brother have got season tickets, and my brother can't make tomorrow's match, so he's asked me to go in his place. So a free game. So I ain't going to grumble at that. I don't mind football. As you know, I play a lot of FIFA. I am umming and ahhing whether to do a Warsaw career mode again, which I did a couple of years ago when 2019 I think I did my Warsaw career mode, just after my mate passed away. He was a solid Warsaw fan, and we used to have lads night. It used to be me, Blazing Dragon, there was Joe, and then there was my mate Damo, and Damo was a Warsaw fan. We always had the first FIFA game was Warsaw versus Shrewsbury, and as I say in the past videos as well, if you're watching this one now and you haven't seen none of the past videos, I am a Shrewsbury Town fan. I like Shrewsbury as a town. It's a very nice town indeed. It's got a lot of Tudor buildings in the shopping centre area of the town. And I used to go there as a kid with my nan and granddad, my parents and my sister. And yeah. So I can't grumble at that. But in all fairness, I used to see Game Meadow from the tea room that we used to go into to have tea and, well, a cup of tea and cakes. And I'd look over the river and there was Game Meadow. And I remember Game Meadow always being flooded when the rivers of Shrewsbury used to burst a bank, flood the stadium, and around about 2006 they moved from Game Meadow to the New Meadow. I think it's been called something else since then, but I'll always know it as the New Meadow. Hence why my stadium in FIFA was called Game Meadow, because it's a homage to Shrewsbury, my favourite club. But I haven't played in the Shrewsbury colours, which is blue and yellow. I went from red, like the Warsaw colours, and I went to the green and black stripes of Borussia Munster, which were on FIFA in 2019, and I did a season with them. And yeah, I liked that team. It was a team that I built from German League 3 up to the German Premier League, and then I won Champions League with that team. I did buy a lot of players in. I also kept a lot of players from Borussia Munster themselves, and I hope they're on the game next year. They could have been on the game this year, but they couldn't clinch promotion from German non-league to get back into German third tier, which is quite sad. But if EA can put the German tier 4 in, I can play as Borussia Munster. And it would be nice to see 4 leagues in the French league as well, because we've got 2 French leagues and we've got 3 German leagues, we've got 4 English leagues, 2 Spanish leagues, you know, first and second. We used to have the Serie A and Serie B for Italy, and last year they took the B League out and they left the A League in, and I'm not sure why they did that. I know they got rid of the Russian League, that's been in and out of FIFA for a couple of years. There's a lot of leagues that FIFA could add and keep in. I haven't played as FC Tokyo either. That's one of my favourite teams in Japan, is FC Tokyo. FC Seoul is my favourite team in Korea. LA Galaxy ever since 1996 has been my favourite American team, before David Beckham joined and people said, oh, I'm supporting them because of Beckham. No, it was all because of Landon Donovan and Alexia Lalas, 2 well-known American footballers or soccer players from that era, and they were bloody good, really. Donovan was a cam/striker and Lalas was a great defender, and yeah, I remember, I think it was Kobe Jones as well, another midfielder in the latter 2000s. He took the reign and did well. But yeah, there's quite a few teams around the world that I like. Favourite French team, PSG, like I say, that was back in 1998, 1999, when I saw them on FIFA. Because the Parc de Paris were on the game with Old Trafford and Wembley in 98, and of course fell in love with Paris Saint-Germain right there and then. German teams, like I say, I like Borussia Dortmund, I like Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Mönchengladbach, that's a mouthful and a half. They're like the midfield teams, or was midfield teams before they started getting well known. Like I say, French League, Paris Saint-Germain. I'm trying to think what other leagues are on there. I know there's Sweden, Turkey. I like Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, the big 2 teams in there. They're the only real teams I truly understand and know because of your Europa League and Champions League football. There's, oh god, without having FIFA on, it's really hard to tell what teams I like. Well, the Spanish League. So I used to like Real Madrid and Barcelona, but you know, they're the big 2, always winning the leagues. But I have fell in love with Real Oviedo, Spanish League 2 team. And yeah, they seem to be pretty good. Mediocre team, mid-table, are always pushing top 6 in the Spanish League 2. I like an underdog team, I do. I fell in love with the underdog teams. Who else do I like? Oh, excuse me. Shamrock Rovers, Irish League. They're my favourite Irish team, Shamrock Rovers. I found them when the Irish League was put onto FIFA, and I was looking around, and yeah, I played as them, and I enjoyed the Irish League, and yeah, I like Shamrock Rovers. There's Rangers in Scotland. They're one of my favourite teams in Scotland because they had Ali McCoy and Don Goodman and a couple of other well-known players, Paul Gascoigne, Andrei Kanchelski, you know, going back there from the 90s. But yeah, I can't grumble at Rangers. You know, I followed them when they went down and got kicked out the Scottish League, and I always said they'll get back and dominate, and they have, and I'm happy that they have done that. I just got a little bit bored of Celtic keep winning now. So it's nice to see Rangers back on top. There's, like I said, there's the Norwegian teams are on FIFA. There's Switzerland, but I don't really follow any of them leagues. I follow the main leagues. But I have got a couple of American friends that I've got from playing online games, and I've got a few family members in America, and yeah, so basically my American teams from baseball are the Chicago Cubs, basketball Chicago Bulls, soccer LA Galaxy, ice hockey Anaheim Ducks. American football, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say the New England Patriots. Tom Brady, he was good. But yeah, I don't really follow American football. It's like I don't follow rugby or cricket. It's two, you know, 3 sports that I just can't do. I can't stand golf either, but I love crazy golf. All the obstacles. Tennis, I don't mind a bit of tennis. Tennis is actually quite fun. I had AIE tennis or AIO tennis. I used to like Top Spin on PS3. Top Spin was an amazing game, and then they never remade it for PS4. Missed out on an opportunity there, they did. But if they did do it and they did bring out a Top Spin game, I'd buy it and I'd do videos on it. I can't do videos
Check
on
your
AI.
MFD for a new strategy option.
Yeah, I can't stand AOI tennis. Even though you can customise characters, it's not as good as Top Spin was. Intermediate tyres,
Understood,
yeah.
copy that.
Let's go for Inters. So the rest of the field are going to come in now. 7 laps in, I did expect intermediate tyres, even though I said it's going to be a 4 wet race. I think by about lap 10, 12, we'll be on dry tyres, I think, because the circuit is drying rather quickly, and I ain't going to grumble. It's really amazing. I am using overtake quite a lot because it's wet, and I can save a lot more, but Bottas is actually catching. I don't know if the other cars behind us pitted in. I haven't been looking at the top left hand corner with the drivers since I've just been talking about sports. So yeah, it's quite cool. So yeah, that's going to be a shortcut. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I just didn't have the grip into the corner. The track's too dry. Right, here we go, in and out. What else can I talk about? I don't know. I really don't know. It's just one of them things. I could talk and talk and talk about random stuff, like I did yesterday in Minecraft, where I was talking about WWE and AEW, and then I jumped from one part to another part. But yeah, I'll just sum up WWE at the moment. Vince McMahon, I think he's lost the plot a little bit by sacking 8 more superstars within the last 48 hours, and I think that is just ridiculous. He's doing budget cuts for all the wrong reasons, and SummerSlam doesn't look like to be a it's not SummerSlam, is it? Survivor Series, sorry. Survivor Series is not looking good. It's not going to be a sellout show like he's hoping. So yeah, but AEW have started to prove that they're like WCW. They are a rival company to be quite fearful of. Is Vince McMahon scared of AEW? Probably not. But if I was Vince McMahon, I would be locking down some of these real good top talent players. Or well, players, the wrestlers, they were players and on the game. But yeah, if Vince McMahon does not book up his ideas by sacking all these wrestlers, he's not going to have a roster to play with. Because at the end of the day, you've got to have talent up and down the field of all weight classes to have a competitive company. And like I said, he's still stuck in the Attitude Era and the early 90s and probably the mid 80s, where the company was a top-notch company. Like I said, I've really stopped watching WWE from like 2010 onwards. I lost interest when in 2005 when I was living on my own. I didn't have Sky or any way to watch wrestling, but I brought the video games just to keep up to date with the current rosters back then. And like I say, I'm not going to buy any more WWE games because the roster on WWE 2K20 is still far better than the last 2 games. So yeah, I'm going to be stuck on that game for quite a while, and even if my views go down, my views go down. But I think a lot of content creators are looking at WWE and going, we're going to stick on just one game because the rosters, you know, your favourite wrestlers get sacked or they're not on TV, and so they're off air for quite a while and then they get sacked after that. It's you lose faith in a company when you do that.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Okay, copy that.
I think I hit my front wing, so I ain't having that. Because I have no idea how I managed to get my front wing when I was following the racing line, but yeah. I ain't having a front wing change if that's going to be the case when I have to do the dry stint. Because the track is drying, and it's drying quite quick. And my fuel has gone back up. But yeah, like I say, WWE, I'd rather bring back the old guys and pay them more money, like Brock Lesnar, bring him back every so often, Goldberg, bring him back so often, you know, and they come back and they ain't as good as there was, and they pay them millions, and yet they sack talent that are current and fresh, and then could be the face of the company. So yeah, WWE in my eyes has really done a number on themselves. Tony Khan, AEW, signing all the released wrestlers that he can resign. I know Impact have done the same, and now New Japan have done the same. I know a couple of indie circuits have hired some of the talent that's been released from WWE. But yeah, it's just so sad. It really is, because wrestlers don't deserve to be sacked because of the current situation still with the pandemic in America, where venues aren't as big as what there was 3-4 years ago. And of course they're still wearing face masks, they're still doing this and this. And I know they've got to think about their safety and that, but come on. You know, a bit of common sense is, if you're sacking wrestlers that the fans like, the fans ain't gonna go to watch the match, are they? To watch Billy Nowman and Roman Reigns to dominate the league and carry on winning the belts. It's just not practical. And that's why he wants The Rock and Roman Reigns in WrestleMania next year, or in a couple of years, where The Rock are doing movies. And he does a bit of a Ryan Reynolds, comes away from movies and just takes time for himself and his family, you know. You need that bit of wind down, but no, WWE, in my eyes, they've gone. Vince McMahon needs to sell. That's what he needs to do. He needs to sell the company, get somebody young and fresh to buy the company who's got the money, and basically rival Tony Khan and his idea of wrestling, which is brilliant. They have AEW have free range of writing who they want to face, how the match is going to pan out, everything else. And Vince McMahon, up until 4 p.m, 6 p.m. on an evening, when the show's up and running at like 8 o'clock or so, and he changes the script, or he changes how the match is going to go, and that's how Vince McMahon ruining his own company, because he keeps tweaking bits here and there what don't need tweaking. And that's why people are fed up with seeing Charlotte Flair as women's champion. Don't get me wrong, she's a good wrestler, but how many times can you milk the same wrestler? It was like out with Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Everyone loved Hogan. I'm a Hogan fan myself, and I grew up with watching Hogan, and he milked Hulk Hogan for all he could. And then when Hogan was going to WCW, he tried to bring in Lex Luger as the next big man, and he flopped. And then he had The Rock, Stone Cold, Taker being there. He had the Hardys, he had Shawn Michaels. He did have Bret Hart before he jumped ship to WCW. There was a lot of wrestlers that could have been the next big thing. And what people talk about with Bret Hart is the Montreal Screwjob, where Michaels actually won the match by Vince McMahon calling the match for him. Now, I've watched The Dark Side of the Ring, and I've heard that Shawn Michaels knew nothing about it. They know what was going to happen. Vince McMahon did that just because. But like I say, you've got these wrestlers that are coming through, like Big E now. Big E's an amazing wrestler. There's rivals there that could rival him for the belt, could put on bigger matches, and just Roman Reigns' his name. But what will happen with WWE is, I can see it being sold. And it needs to be sold within the next 3 to 4 years, because with all these wrestlers being sacked, you don't know who's going to happen next year. You don't know who's going to be gone next year. If they sack another 100 wrestlers next year, there's no roster at all for WWE. But AEW does seem like the place to be at the moment. Great matches. Pardon me. Some great women's division. There's a women's division in AEW that's just a single division. It ain't like SmackDown and Raw on WWE. Now, I remember it just used to be Raw, and then SmackDown come along, and I think it was 2005-ish that they was going to separate the two brands to go separate to rival one another. Worst mistake wrestling Vince did there, making two brands, SmackDown versus Raw. Don't need two brands, all you need is wrestlers to be on both shows. And so the fans can, so they're there, so on a Monday somewhere in America, the Friday they're there somewhere else in a different part of America. Fans can watch certain wrestlers then from both brands on one company. Couldn't see anything wrong there. But separating the SmackDown and Raw was the worst. And then they bring out Tough Enough, and then they bring out a couple of other stuff, then NXT. Now, I will admit, NXT was superb. It was fresh, it was current, it was brilliant. And they was superb. And then they made NXT a little bit worse. And now, like I said, they've put it as 2.0, and it looks even worse. It looks worse than what it did a year ago when the NXT brand was going through a lot of changes. We have William Regal and Triple H doing the Gold brand. Triple H knew how to book wrestlers, how to get the matches over, and that's why NXT was superb. I know William Regal is doing the English NXT, I believe, and he's doing well over here. Some of the good wrestlers over here have been promoted to NXT in America and also on SmackDown and Raw from being over here. But for me, NXT should be, that's what it should be, WWE NXT. Don't need SmackDown and Raw now. Go to the future with WWE. Go to a different type of wrestling altogether. So yeah, that's what I think anyway. But you know, everyone's got their own opinions. But what I've picked up though is over the last bit of last few weeks, how we WWE, everyone feels the same, that Vince should sell. So that's the problem. Will Vince ever sell the company? Because he's, like I say, his son and daughter's not going to be taking the reign of WWE. So I don't actually know what's going to happen if he does sell. I'm on the penultimate lap and there's Gio up there. Looks like he had just engine failure. Talk about engines actually, how's mine looking? 85. It's gone up by 4% engine wear. Well, 3% really, because it was on 81. That's gone up by 3. I think I can get away with this with Japan if Japan's in the wet. If Japan's in the dry, I've got a feeling that I might not be able to do this. I might have to take an ICE, but I'll have a look. But it's been another good race. It was a little bit close early with Hamilton trying to dot down the inside of me. That was a good race, but now it just seems to have died down because the track is drying. And what is my tyre wear actually? Let's have a look. 23 on the rears, could be a little bit better, but I do know that this circuit is rear tyre heavy for tyre wear. See, I could pit for dries, but there's no point, and I've just overshot the corner. That was my bad. I was going to end up into the wall because I was still not paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts and on the WWE stuff and the AEW stuff in the comments. Let's have a community of comments of where we have our opinions and see who agrees and who doesn't agree. And DRS is enabled. Now, like I said, this is where I would do a pit stop, but I don't know if the rest of the pack are going to do a pit stop. and I don't fancy. Oh, I don't know. This is. Oh, my engine's smoking anyway. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for broke. I don't think everybody else is gonna pit. If they do, they do. But my engine is now smoking with all the wear. So yeah, like I say, 25% distance and 5% laps. You don't get no engine failures. You just get massive tyre wear, engine wear, tyre wear, and so forth. But I wish from 50% to 100% you get random failures. They should put random failures in all aspects of the race. That way then it would be more unpredictable racing. Because I could go around like 17 laps, 15 laps, 14 laps here, there and everywhere. And at one stage in the race I could actually just have an engine failure. Would be superb. But maybe on next year's game. If Cody's and EA listen to the community. But yeah. Like I say, Japan, I'm going to have to take new units I think for Japan, because 130R down the back straight going into the chicane where Senna and Prost came together in the 90s. I think that's where my car would actually struggle. Everything else would be okay. Turbocharger, ICE, them are the two I'm going to have to replace. The MG UK is actually pretty good for the rest of Japan, but America it might fail. But yeah, I'm not going to grumble. No, I did call it, nobody else was going to pit. I was going to pit that last lap, but no point. But yeah, superb. It's proper smoke engine. And yeah, that was a pretty easy, comfortable win. I should be on a claim 15 at the end of this new sponsor. Hopefully I can get the energy drink sponsor. Would be nice. And Schumacher gets driver of the day, GG.
It's never easy to make it across the finish line here in Singapore, but they've done so with some style here today to take a remarkable victory. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Lee increases their championship lead. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Mick Schumacher gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. It doesn't get much better. You're beating all. How do you think? Appreciate
Just
your
answering
time.
3 questions. There is no wrong answer, there is no right answer. Just There's no point going through them to understand them. I'll just go through and just go, yeah, okay, boom, done. I just want to see the acclaim go up. Yes, I can get a new sponsor now. We did qualify in 15 from better. Or that's supposed to be for both drivers. That is a little bit naughty if that's the case. Not getting any money on that one. But oh well. Now I'm done. Right, let's get the new sponsor on the car. I'll do sponsor bonus. Here we go. Let's get this sponsor on. Let's see if it's here. I'm hoping it's going to be here. And it's not. That's a little bit problematic. Can't believe they're not use that energy drink. Oh, it is. It's here. What's it say, please? Without climbing another vehicle. Oh, we can do that. Yay! I've now got the sponsor on the car for the energy drink. I thought it was called something else, and that was my bad. That's livery. I don't want to change livery yet. Right, that's that sticker. I don't want to care about that. That's the one I want. Okay, let's have any drink there. Let's have it on top of the halo because why not? And I'll have it on the side of the car. Now I'm going to take Polar out, and then I'm going to put Polar. Now where am I going to put Polar? There we go. Put Polar there. Put the energy drink on there. We've got down the back of there. Now they've got like a lot of sponsors there now for the energy drink, but I don't think it's supposed to be an energy because it just says energy. But yeah, it's all good. Right, how many more races have we got to go again? We've got 2, 4. We've got 6 races to go. Do you know what? I am going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit. I'm going to put all new parts on. Yeah, because see these parts so far are okay. Gearbox, new gearbox for practice, and you know what? I'm gonna have a new gearbox there. And now with the last 6 races, I'm gonna be pretty good. I got 5.7 mil. I don't know if that's enough to buy the the driver I want. I know I've still got a few races to go, but I am thinking of having Nico Rosberg again. I really am thinking about that. Oh, I could go for the Chinese guy. Where is he? Zhao. Because he's got a lot of potential coming in for next year. Taking Antonio Giovinazzi's seat. So, you know, I could look elsewhere for cheaper options. But how well is Giuliano Lace? He's only level 8. Literally 2 levels lower than 2 levels higher. Yeah, 2 levels higher than Zhou. But I want a driver who can do some bits. Giovinazzi could be a good shout. 81 rated. I've got a car that's good enough for the midfield. DC, good old David Coulthard. I don't know. There's quite a few drivers I would have. Jensen Button's only worth 6. Rosberg, like I say, he's worth 6 and he's 89 and he's 90 rated. There's only one difference on the Focus. Experience is a little bit less. Racecraft's a little bit less. Awareness. Pace. Pace is better than Button, but yeah. Then again, I could always go for my favourite driver of all time, Ayrton Senna, but I'm not going to get 12 mil by the end of the race. Now, if they gave us the money before everything else got done, then I would say yes, I could afford him for next season. But the game says no, you can't do that. So, you know, it's one of them things. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. So please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications. I do daily posts. And until the next one, I will see you all later. Bye.